All right, good morning, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We're going to go through live order flow analysis using Bookmap, and we're going to focus today a little bit. It's going to be a little bit different. Obviously, what we cover with order flow is vastly important. Understanding the participants in the auction process gives us insight to where price might go next. It's not just looking at candlesticks and market structure and price action. There's so much more. It's understanding the volume within that price action, as well as the liquidity and the order flow within that price action. And that's what gives us some insight. All right, so combined with our higher time frames and understanding. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Just some news that we've been going through. Actually need to update this one because it will starts November 10. Okay. Let's go back. Okay. So we just ended the Blue Jacket competition, and we'll have winners, and we'll announce them on the 10th, and we start again for the Blue Jacket. So if you want to sign up for that, it's a competition based on content. It's different than the competition that we just had. And then we just had yesterday our Bookmap Academy meeting at the market close on Thursdays, and we cover your content and give you feedback. We open the mic for you to tell us about your trading, and then how can we help you. That's the Academy program. You can find it from our website and go through the details, but the most important thing I want to cover here is the beta programs. Okay, so if you're interested in this, reach out to us at beta@bookmap.com. We have a multi-account add-on that we can give you access to. It is in beta. Make sure you understand that. As well as this, I'm going to show you this Market Pulse Web new heat map product. And there's a whole bunch of other things that are going on as well. So anyway, check it out and email us, beta@bookmap.com. All right, so I just exited a trade here. In fact, what I wanted to do today was focus on something. I got some funky stuff here on stops and icebergs here. Hold on just a second here. Okay, that's good. This is correct. All right, so how is it over here? Okay. Okay, this looks okay now. All right. Anyway, I want to take them off for the moment. But yeah, hold on a second. Just to simplify the chart, love the stops and stops and icebergs here, but we're going to take it off the chart for now. Okay, so that's a rhythmic one. Here's the one. I got some funky things here. Go on. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, that's fine. We can look at stops and icebergs. We're looking at the Trader Map Lite version here of Bookmap, and you can look at stops and icebergs on chart here. But what I wanted to cover was some trades that I took earlier, and Rob, actually, there's a lot of things I wanted to focus on today that we covered in the Bookmap Academy meeting yesterday. I thought it was a great session. And we invited a bunch of coaches up to the mic and to give their feedback. This just it kills you. And this is what I was looking for to happen, Rob. My stop was too tight. Okay. But I just want to show you something in here, and what we covered yesterday in the Academy meeting, what from John, from Valefan, from David, from Stan, and it was much more about account management and making something higher probability for yourself. I think this will be really helpful for you. It's helpful for everybody, and in particular, it was John had said something that caught my ear from the week before, and that's where it was. I wanted to elaborate on it in the Academy meeting and get to a little bit more detail in it. Let's see. You can't see on the Trader Map Lite. You should be able to see stops and icebergs. See on the NQ Trader Map Lite. Trader Pete, I don't know if you're showing me something, or is there something to answer here? Good morning to Alois and everybody, Rob, Stephen, Hector, Alan. Anyway, I wanted to cover something really, really simple, and here it is right here on the chart. All right, so in fact, let me just dumb this down. This is why I wanted to take off the stops and icebergs, because it's just a little too much here. Okay, so let's try it. Let's try it again here. All right, so rhythmic, stops and icebergs, off the chart. Okay. Trader Map Lite. Okay, it's off the chart. Okay, good. All right, so I was looking at, I was a little confused. I'm connected to Bookmap data as well as rhythmic data for the same instrument. All right, so two different Trader Map Lites, and it's kind of hard to read them. I want to give that feedback to the developers. All right, so what do we have here, Rob? And this is what I'm talking about. It's first off, on a day like today, do you want to trade? Right now, this is killing me here. I mean, it's just killing me, and that I got stopped out on these last two here. Right at the bottom of the range in here, and I should have known better. I should have had it a little bit deeper. Even this one probably would have been hit here, but yeah, you can see where I moved my stops. I had it down here originally, and then I thought, well, I took more profit. I'm gonna tighten it up and try to let it run. And instead, I would have been still in this sitting pretty. Okay, and I'd let it run for the rest of the day. Look where I put my take profit. Okay, at the figure up here. That's where I think price is going today. Now, how did I get to all of this? And then we'll get into this one little simple little setup in here, and then reducing risk, and then holding for a bigger winner. Okay, which I should be in. But anyway, so let's take a look. Okay, so in fact, I've got this old guide that it's not that old. We put it together a while back. This day trading plan is a PDF, if you guys remember. I can give you access to it again, and I'll probably come back and edit this after, I kind of came up with a simplistic version here, but let's just go through it. All right, bigger picture, economic calendar, geopolitical environment. This is very important. What is the environment we're in? Do you want to trade today? Is it risk on or is it risk off? What instruments are you trading? Why are you trading those instruments? Okay, this a simple big picture filter will help immediately. Okay, why do you even want to take risk if it's not setting up the way that you want to trade? Okay, so what did we have today? Well, we had non-farm. And the non-farm was actually way under expectations, but we also had hourly earnings, which actually rose. Okay, so we're in this kind of weird environment right now about inflation. The unemployment rate stayed the same, but it's especially going into an election. How are the jobs holding up? And what about inflation? And a bad number in the non-farm has actually been pretty good lately, or for several months now, because people are thinking that this economy is too hot. There's too much inflation. Okay, so now what do we have today? Well, we had a bad number, but the market's going up. Okay, so do you want to trade in that environment? And yeah, I mean, like, look what the other participants are telling us here. Yeah, they want to be in. Okay, now, so this is one thing, and now which direction are you going to go, and which tactics are you going to employ? Okay, so again, that's in this little list here. We haven't gone through the bigger picture technicals. That's our next step, but then we'll start to get into developing the scenarios for the day. What are we looking for? All right, so Rob, if you go through this process in the morning, I would imagine this is going to help you. Just try it. Don't take my word for it. In fact, like I said yesterday in the academy meeting, instead be very, very, what's the word? Prove it that I'm right or I'm wrong. Okay, so but this is the starting point for doing your due diligence. Be very speculative about what is someone else telling you. Don't just take it for granted. I'm not saying that you do, Rob. I'm saying that I have in the past. Like, I remember, someone would say, "Oh, I look at volume profile, I look at footprint charts, and this is how I trade it." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, let's do it. Like, let's look at that and let's trade it." And then you lose some money on it. You don't really quite understand it. You have not done your due diligence. The thing probably works great, but you haven't done your homework. You haven't proved it to yourself. That's when you make it your own, and you don't have to be creative to do that. So I know that you had mentioned something about that, about creativity. So this is not a creative endeavor here. In fact, what it's more like is like kind of keeping your eyes and ears open and seeing like what works, and then prove it to yourself that it works for you. Okay, you have to do this. There's no way around it. All right. So anyway, let's continue on. So that's the bigger picture, and now let's look at the bigger picture technicals. This is extremely important. Okay. And if you don't have some sort of idea in the bigger picture technicals, you should not be trading. Okay, as simple as that. This alone right here, Rob, I think will help you tremendously. Okay, so look what yesterday we had this huge down day. Okay, this is the daily chart here on the S&P E-mini. Look where it traded to. Look at all these wicks down in here, several days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. And back and forth, right? But mostly buying. Okay, and look at the breakout here on buying, right? And continued up, and then it hacked around in here for a while. Now we see that, and these things you can read these during the day. You could even just trade this, Rob, if you wanted, and just kind of set and forget. Maybe 1 micro or something, or just trade in demo and see how it works for you. Because there's simple order flow elements in here. It's more price action, not order flow. But there's elements in here that you could probably extrapolate from Bookmap into here. I mean, we do that all the time. All right, so looking for a rebound here after this big down day. Okay, where do we think price is going to go? Just by looking at this today. And we had fundamental data, and we have an election. Okay, so on the bigger picture technicals, this is a pullback. Where is it going? Well, it's almost there. I'm looking at the swing low here from this day on Wednesday, October 23rd. Okay, I'm looking for a test up there. What is that price level? It's 5,800. Okay, it's the figure. All right, so I'm looking, and I see momentum coming in. I'm just looking for it to trade up to there. Okay, and in fact, that was my plan. Okay, I had my take profit up there. Simple as that. All right, so there's my plan for the day. I'm just looking for that. After it trades up here, I don't know, but this is what I'm looking for. Okay, and that's going to be like a 50% retracement maybe of this big candle, which we'll look at the volume, compare the volume today versus yesterday. Is this a low volume pullback for the day? Okay, or do we find more and more buyers? Do we come back up to this swing on the hourly? Now we're going to jump over to the hourly. Okay, we're looking for 5,800. It's right up here, okay, on the hourly here. Makes good sense to me. I can see where it banged around in here and then it broke out, came back, and then traded back and forth in here. It did not come back all the way here, which is kind of bullish. And then we get another breakout, okay, and another breakout. Right? So we can even start to look at technical levels now a little bit more on the hourly, and just keep it simple though. Okay, these are the levels in here. Well, it came back up and it was kind of bullish. It didn't even retest back down here, and hovered around and then broke out again. Okay, look where this swing here, which was Wednesday the 23rd, look where price came back, okay, to that level, top of these areas where it broke out from. Now it happens to be the figure as well, right? So you know, there's all sorts of players and traders trading around that whole number. It's an important number, right? So now we're starting to get into some more details and starting to understand it. Now we're keeping it simple though, still just looking for a pullback. I mean, for today we're looking for riding the momentum, but we're going to look on the bigger picture to see if this is a pullback. All right, so now let's go and we've looked at our higher time frames. Our 15-minute chart, I'm not getting much from it at all because yesterday was such a big down day. If there's anything, I would say up here around this 14, 15 level, or maybe a full gap fill up to this 44 level. Okay, we need to see a lot of momentum coming in for that to happen. All right, now there's another thing we've talked about in here, and that's timing for the day. All right, so 10:30 is coming up on us here. Usually we have a lot of momentum for the first you know, half hour typically. Well, this has been even more. Okay, so you can see we had another data point in here with I think it was PPI, right? Yeah, PMI, and that's what actually kind of helped take me out of this. All right, so now what have I done? And I'll write this down for you, Rob, and we'll put it into a document for everybody, and we'll kind of edit this day trading plan as well, and then we'll go through it here. Okay, so now basically I'm bullish. I'm looking for price to rise. I want to get in. I want to reduce some risk, and I want to try to ride it up to my target up here. And this is just killing me. But you know, this is what I did, right? And I got taken out. So I'll come back and review that later. Maybe I should put my stop below this swing down here, like I kind of did for a little bit. And I thought, no, you know what? I'm going to be more aggressive. All right, so what did I do in here? What was my trading activity? Okay, it's pretty aggressive. And this is what I was thinking, that we are trending up. Look at the buy volume coming in. All right, I want to ride this momentum. I know that there's buyers coming in, more buyers coming in. Now I know there's high liquidity here, high liquidity here. I am anticipating there to be a pullback like there is here and like there is here after trading into high liquidity. But I'm finding more buyers up here again. Okay, now look what price did here. It kind of went back and forth in here, and then it broke out and then went back and forth in here. Okay, these are bullish structures. Okay, so I started to see the buyers come back in again after a little bit of exhaustion here. Okay, and I jumped in. Right, so I'm looking for a price to come back up here, and then I managed my stops a little bit later. As you guys know, I like to widen them out quite a bit, as you can see here in the brackets, 30 and 15, depending on the environment. Okay, so now all I want to do is take some profit in front of this high liquidity up here at this 80 level, just some. Okay, what did I do? I actually layered in here, scaled in a bunch of times. Okay, so I got in here. I have more buyers confirming it again. I'm in. Okay, even more buyers after pulling back again. More buyers, more buyers, more buyers. I'm looking for this to go. It didn't. Okay, pull back again, and then more buyers up in here. I gave it one more shot. Okay, and what did it do? It pulled away. Okay, it retested the bottom of the range here, and then finally more buyers come in, just like this area here where I thought it was going to break. They do it again in here. My first target is achieved, and what did I do? Okay, I took off 3. It was actually 15, I think, and then I'm looking for this to continue, and now I'm going to take my runner, and I was being conservative with it here, thinking, well, I'm just looking for a breakout up into this area here. No, I'm looking for this is a trending day. I'm looking for this to trend, so I'm going to move it up here. All right, now what else did I do in here? I took another, I was like, well, time of day, 10 o'clock approaching, maybe we'll get a big pullback here, and I'm going to take some more profit. I did. I took 3 off here. Okay, so I had 2 remaining, and then I'm going to let those 2 run. Okay, and I tightened up my stop, and that was a mistake here. I should have known better. We had the Axia Futures webinar where Richard went through and detailed it out. Like, look, you got to give it some breathing room. Okay, this is the bigger swing is down here. Put it down there. And just let it breathe, let it kind of work out, and then you can capture these bigger moves like this, right? So should have known better. Okay, mistake. All right, I'll go back, I'll review that, and I'll take more risk. I'll have my stop down here. Now I reduce a ton of risk in here, okay, a ton. So I'm just looking for this simple setup here. I'm just looking for buyers to test higher levels in here, and that's it. Okay, I'm going to reduce the risk at that point and then wait for the runner. Okay, this is what John is doing. This is what Valley Fund does a little differently, but also he's taking off as it goes for him, and then also David Blake. He trades in the morning, has profits, and he does it a little differently too. And then he's got the bank's money, and then he'll speculate with it for the regular trading hour session. All right. So let me see. I haven't looked at any of the questions in here. So anyone have any questions on this? Rob, any questions yourself? Let me look over on YouTube as well. No. Okay, we're good. All right. So anyway, that's my trading plan, and that's what I'm looking for today. Okay, and it did it. Okay, and just so happens that I didn't manage my stop too well. Okay, now it's trading up into 5,800. Right, and now what do I anticipate here? Keeping it simple again. Okay, let's go back. Bigger picture. Looking at these technical levels in here, okay, and looking, this is the only technical level I have right now. Here is 5,800, and this swing from yesterday, and these other swings in here from several days ago. All right, that's all I have, but that's what I'm looking for, as high probability for it to trade to and test, and then after that, I don't know. Right. In fact, I'm looking for a bit of a pullback in here. This has been pretty strong momentum here. and trade up into that area, and then I'm looking for the market to take a break. And why am I looking for it to take a break? Okay, because of the timing, market timing. And we know that around this time of day, after these big moves, we usually get a pullback. Okay, we have the European close in another, well, actually it's another not an hour, it's 2 hours, right? I believe. So that's when the London close is, because our time will change and we'll all be in sync again, I think, after this weekend, right? So anyway, now, so I'm not trading, okay? I'm not looking for something right now. If anything, I'd look for a scalp maybe up into this 5,800, and it's already too late. There it goes, right? Yeah, thank you, Alois. Yeah, next week everything will be as normal. Okay, good. Um, yeah, it's always that weird 2-week period. Kind of screws up a lot of things. All right, so anyway, there's our move. And now, is there anything to do here? No, not on my side. I am not looking at buying here at these higher highs. In fact, if anything, I'm looking for a pullback right now. Okay, so it traded up into high liquidity. After high liquidity trades, we're always looking for a pullback. Right now, I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to. We're gonna look for a move back into the range here. Okay, but we're going to look for some signs in here. Here's a bit of exhaustion after some high liquidity. Okay, now there's another thing we're going to look for in here in the order flow. Okay, this is something that I was kind of studying in during the competition that I want to share with you guys. Look for these little ranges in here, okay, and look for consensus, right? So here, this range in here. All right, so now we're going to look for consensus in here. Where are the buyers? Where are the sellers? Okay, and this will give us some insight. If we get sellers at the bottom edge in here, then I would look for it to break. Okay, so I'm not seeing buyers. In fact, there's some sellers there, and looks like, so I put a limit in. I missed it, and I'm looking for a pullback, right? And that's it. So I missed it. So I'm going to cancel it. Anyway, we had a little bit of exhaustion in here, and I started to see the sellers here, and then I just missed the trade. Okay, but I'm just looking for it to trade down to here. That's it. Okay, right now. Now maybe it'll get down to here, 98, 99 or so, and that's possible. Okay, so I don't know though. I don't really see it quite setting up right now for it. But we're going to look at again consensus in some of these little zones in here. Okay, so I do see some sellers. All right, so let me place a sell stop here. There we go. I'm in. All right, so now I'm just looking for it to trade down to here. Right, that's it. Let's see if we can get there. Right, sellers, a bit of a pullback, and I'm looking for consensus down at this bottom edge in here for sellers to drive it just another leg lower here. Okay, well, we didn't get it. Buyers are coming back in. We're still in this range here. Okay, let's pull that range across. All right, so now where am I wrong? All right, well, I'll give it. I'll let buyers take it above this range, and I'll see if I get more buyers up here, then I'm out, and then I'm out. Yeah, because I'm getting buyers up here. The consensus is there's buyers up here, right? So my idea here, my original idea was good, and I would have gotten out here. This idea was pushing it a little bit and looking for getting out down here maybe. All right. So anyway, just going through. This is actually, Rob, I shouldn't be showing this stuff. This is this kind of stuff I'm talking about here on the lower time frames that we should not be looking at if we want to keep it simple. Okay, now look, we came back up to here, top of the range in here. We found some buyers. We had some consensus, but the sellers came back in and rolled it all the way back down to here. Okay, so that's where we are right now. Anyway, the to keep it simple, we traded up to here, and there's nothing for us to do. Okay, so and then we went through a trade of looking how to take that trade up to here. Rob, is this making sense? I mean, or is there some sort of way, like, trying to make it, it's not going to be mechanical, right? Unless, you want to trade, algorithmically, or have some sort of other mechanical system. Okay, then that's something different, and you may consider that. But anyway, the just keeping it simple in here, and we're gonna, what I'm making it much more complex, and you should just probably plug your ears. But I need to show something during the webinar, and we can look at other little ranges in here, etc. Now, this is the behavior that we anticipated precisely. Time of day, momentum move on a pullback after a big down day into our level, and then we have a time of day for the day, looking for a pullback. Okay, so and then we're looking for getting involved in here, right? So I missed this one, and then this one here, we got one more push, kind of did a double top, then we see our sellers come in. All right, so this opportunity is missed now too. Anyway, it's all fractal, Rob, but I would really, and I got to cover something. I would suggest, though, like, just on these smaller time frame examples we're going to be going through in here, don't just sit back, listen, and learn type of thing. The plan is simple. Do you want to trade for the day, due to the environment, and then look at your higher time frames about where do you want to trade. Okay, now look at Bookmap and it's setting up, like down here. I knew that there were buyers, and I know that it already traded up into high liquidity quite a bit here. Here, up in here, well, up in here and here as well. And I am looking for pullbacks, but I still see more buyers in here. So I'm looking for the next levels of liquidity, and I'm going to reduce the risk, and then try to get a runner out of it. That is my day. Okay, and I suggest, Rob, that you go back and do that. And again, I'm speaking to you, Rob, directly in here, but this is basically for many others who might be new to Bookmap, or new to trading. We want to get the highest probability we can. And then how do we do that? Well, you first off have to kind of build your own trading plan. And how do you do that? Well, this is how you do it. Take some of the ideas you learn from maybe this webinar or others or books or wherever, okay, and then start to question it. How does that work? And then go back and don't trade it. That's just going to be a bundle of emotions. Understand it. Understand the essence of it. Okay, what is the idea behind it? And then go back. You can even just go back for the day here, and look at it. Maybe it's something simple in the order flow here. Does it work out? How many times did it work out? I mean, what can you learn from this and kind of lean on after just nonchalantly looking at some of this stuff and starting to understand it. There's a lot here to understand. Look at the volume down here on the buy side in the bars, the delta bars. Look at the volume up in here and look how price is moving. There's three things right there, and it's extremely important. Buyers are lifting the market. They're trading up into high liquidity, and they're meeting sellers up in here. And we get a bit of a pause. But we get more buyers in here. Look at the sellers. Look at the buyers. Look at the size and color of the dots. Okay? That's why I'm looking for in here buyers to take this higher. Right? So anyway, go back and take a look at some of these things. Now we got CVD down here. Is this something you want to integrate? As you guys know, I'm not a big fan of integrating indicators into the equation here, but maybe that's something you want to do, and maybe that's helpful. Confluences. Maybe you're just looking for confluences. It's like, okay, I want to be a buyer down here in these levels, let's say, okay? Because overall there's still more buyers than sellers, but let's take a look at this actually. Are there more buyers than sellers now? Look at the selling picking up in here. Okay, is this a reversal? Right? Has it traded into high liquidity yet? Okay, no. Right? So in fact, you can even look for taking a trade here and looking for it to trade back down into this liquidity here because it has not traded there yet. Okay, so then we'd look for some consensus in here, the order flow and the transactions. Okay, well, we found some buyers now, right? So I need to see some sellers here. All right, there we go. So I just put in a sell stop. It's triggered. And now I'm just looking for this, okay, down to here. That's it. In fact, maybe a little bit lower. Okay, and that's all I'm looking for. Okay, it's already unfolded. All right, so this is a simple idea based off of our higher time frames as well. Again, I'm only demoing this in here because these markets are fractal. The same concepts, the same essence of the trading is here. It's in this example here. Okay, and we can do that in the live market because it's order flow. So that's the beauty of Bookmap. Because it's order flow, we can kind of put these pieces together better. Right now, maybe you reduce some risk. Maybe you still have some on. Right. I'm just looking for this. This is kind of, I'm not sure if this is a reversal or not. I don't really know how I feel about this up here. I do know that I'm looking for it to trade here, and I do know that I'm looking for a pullback. Okay? But I don't know how far it's going to go. I looked at the structure here, and this is looking pretty good for a structure. And I have high liquidity here too. So now I don't know. And therefore, I don't have high probability. I'm not going to look for it. Right. So I hope this helps, Rob. I mean, I would suggest looking at simple examples like, yesterday. Let's look at the chart yesterday on the hourly. Okay, this is, again, this is really, really very, very simple stuff. Maybe you have to look at the 15-minute. Okay, yeah, we can look at the 15 yesterday. The hourly is pretty good too. But all right, so big down day. I mean, look at the gap and look at the momentum here. It's just tearing to the downside, right? Where is it gonna go? On the daily up here, we're first looking for it to go here at 5,800. Well, it did that. Here's 58.14 where the price opened up, and then we'd be looking for the move back down to 5,800, 14 points pretty quickly. And you can see there's a wick on that candle, so there's some back and forth in here. It wasn't all that easy, but we see the moves down. Now, take a look at some of these things in here, though. This is something that we covered in the price action many times, especially in a range, when you start to get in these ranges in here. We'll get to the range in a minute. Okay, here, look at this here. See this big wick here? This is the 15-minute chart. We have price went down. We see some buyers, but they're not able to even take it back up very high here. Sellers come back in. They take it down to at least the swing, and then they break it down a little bit more. It probably hit high liquidity, and then it bounced, right? And then kind of chopped around maybe a little bit, and then it went down again. Now here, though, is kind of the dagger. Price came back up again up into here, and it failed. We're still not getting buyers able to lift this market. Okay? So when you start to see some of these things in here, you're looking for the continuation. And it did. It continued. Again here, price could not get back up even near some of these highs up in here from the 15-minute period. So price went down again. Okay, so now we have chop in here, and then we can read the same thing and go through the same principles in here. Okay, so here's another swing. Okay, price went up here, but it failed and came back in the range. Chopped around, price came up, it broke it, but it failed, it came back down. Okay, well, we have one more test up here, and you can see that buyers could not even make a higher high or an equal high here. Okay? And when you start to see these sellers come in, now we're looking for it to retest back down to some of these ranges in here. Right, so I'd be looking for it to at least trade down to here, maybe down to here, okay, and maybe even the swing low for the day. And that's exactly what it did. Okay, so again, keeping it really simple, Rob, look at these 15-minute charts or whatever it is, and just start to understand. Take that, and understand the essence in here of like, this is a big down day. Then there's all this chop. And then yet buyers can't come back above. Okay, they rejected here. They try again, looking pretty good actually. I'd be looking for maybe them to come up into some of these other areas here at this point. They can't. Then this poor guy here, this candle here, we see that the buyers can't even make a higher high or an equal high. And we see sellers back down at the bottom of this range. This is where you're looking. We're looking for that consensus on the sell side here, and we're looking for follow through now to break into some of these other ranges down below. Take that idea and then run with it in Bookmap. All right, and we did the same thing in here, basically same exact idea in here. The move down, the pullback, not finding buyers able to reach it back up into those areas. We're just looking for the move down into here, and then after that we don't know. Okay, you can take some off and you can look for, I mean, in this case I'm kind of surprised, but we did see a lot of selling coming in, in these areas in here. We did notice and mention that like this could be a potential reversal here. Okay, well, it did reverse so far. Now it's up for the day still, but we saw a transition from buy side to sell side here. Okay, and that's okay. If we miss this in here, we didn't have a runner. We didn't take advantage of that because we didn't know. Now what do we know? Okay, well, let's take a look. All right, I'm looking at this swing down here. And what's price going to do? Okay, well, we had fundamental data in here. Okay, so we can probably mark this area up here. I love this new ray tool in here. The developers, you hold down the shift key with the new ray tool in here, and you can have a flat line or a 45 degree angle line or a vertical line, right? So there we go. I'm looking for there, and I'm also looking for this little area in here. Okay, so now we're in that zone. All right, let's take a look now. What's it look like in here in this zone? Back to Rob on this simple plan. This is not a part of it. Now I'm deviating from it. Okay, so I just don't want to confuse you or confuse others. We're going to look again here at order flow and look into some of the details here, but understand the essence of some of these strategies on the higher time frame. Okay, right? So because we're not going to sit around and wait on the higher time frame, right? There is something interesting in here on the higher time frame. Okay? And we'll have to take a look here actually. So now here our 15-minute chart, we see the swing here, and we broke below it, but now we're starting to see some buying coming in. Okay, that's kind of interesting. We did not get back down into some of these swings, or look at this little area in here, a great area to bounce off of. I'm looking at these previous highs here from yesterday at 57.70. And a retest back down to there if we get sellers, right? So let's take a look now, and we're going to look at are we getting sellers in here? So now buyers are trying to lift price back up into specific areas, and we don't have a whole lot of swings or things to look at in here on this 15-minute chart. It's either up here back to the swing high, or maybe this 15-minute chart will close, and then we'll see if more sellers come back in. Okay, and this is where candles, that aggregated data in the candle doesn't really help you. So let's take a look here. All right, well, look at the buyers here. They were unable to make a higher high. Okay, so interesting. Do we get sellers down here now? Are sellers building consensus down here? Yep. All right, I'm looking for them to drop it now back down to probably here, 77. Okay, so a little back and forth in here, sellers, buyers. All right, so now look at the buyers here. See how same concept here we're looking on that 15-minute chart. Not too many buyers up here, right? Do we get sellers here? Okay, well, I have liquidity here as well. That's a little confusing. I don't want to see that. I want to see them pull. All right, so again, we can even look for it here. If they're going to pull, and I'll just put an order in, and we'll watch it closely here. Okay. Okay, so we're starting to see there was a little selling consensus here, but not now. Now we're seeing buyers back up here. All right, I got to see them pull away and see sellers in here. There they are. There they are. Okay, so now I got to see them build consensus down here though. Okay, this is not it. This is just back and forth right now. Okay, so there's more selling now. Selling consensus. Okay, so there's some selling. All right, and there's our break. All right, now where's my target? Okay, so I'm just going to look for it down to here. Okay, so I got my selling consensus, and this was based off of what we just talked about, the same thing. In here, we see the sellers come in. Here, we didn't get enough buyers, so we're looking for them to drop it in here. Well, we had some buyers in here, but now we got more selling. Okay, it's pretty back and forth in here. This is not a good position, right? It can easily get stopped out, right? But we have and we have some things that we mentioned. We have high liquidity in here. I don't want to see that. In fact, I probably should have canceled that order. Okay, but yeah, we're seeing still more back and forth. Okay, buyers, we did find some buyers up here, but did they make the swing? No, we made a lower low. Now, did we make a lower low on more sell volume? Not really. So this is looking pretty choppy in here, right? I don't know if it's worth it or not. Here, if we're going to get an answer here, do we see more selling down here? Then I'll stay in it and I'll look for them just to sellers to try to just, hit the bid down into about this liquidity here. Okay? And I'm front running that high liquidity because I know when sellers meet the buyers, we get a bounce or we get some sideways action. Okay, so now we're back up to the top edge here, and they're pulling liquidity on the bid. Okay, do we get buyers up here? Not yet. I see some sellers. Okay, so this little break above up to the top of this range in here. This is making me really uncomfortable for this position. I don't see a lot of buying in here, but if there's more buying in here, we're going to get it. We're going to be part of the squeeze in here, right? And price will come back up into this area here. In fact, I should probably move my stop back up above this area here. Okay, I'm going to do that. Now you can see my risk reward is horrible in here, but we're just looking for. Here we go. Let's see if we can get our sellers down here now. I'm looking for the sellers to pull away off of this top edge on selling, and we're not getting that. Okay, so yeah, sure, I should have just exited that. But let's see if we can. Yeah, we're just going to get stopped out. Okay, so all of a sudden buyers came in. We didn't know that. We didn't know that was going to happen. This in here made me uncomfortable. Okay, now this is based off of just some experience. Okay, because I saw the well, I mentioned this might not be the best trade example in here. And again, this is all in demo. I know it says real down here, but it is a 24/7 simulator account. You can see here that I'm in targeting the demo account. In fact, do I have it? Make sure that you have your trading statistics. Yeah, it sucks. So it's not documented in here, but make sure you have your trading statistics check mark so you'll get something out of that, and you get it in your trading journal. Okay. Okay, so where did I leave off on this? Yeah, we're just looking for a small move here, and this didn't work out. Now, I was still going to give it a chance here, okay, because of this little zone in here. I didn't see a whole lot of buying. So, and I see some exhaustion here, and I see some selling coming in. I'm like, okay, we could still hang in this here, and there's not much liquidity until it gets down to here. Right, but all of a sudden buyers came back in. We see that consensus now starting to build in here, and look what happened. Right, goes right to our stop. right to where our sellers are up here, a little bit above it, into high liquidity right here. Okay, that's another takeaway here. Why do I want to place my stop by that high liquidity? Maybe place it a little bit above it, right? That's another error here. And then maybe I can get out at a better price in here. All right, so this is an example, Rob, where that idea of that retest back up into here and then looking for a continuation, it failed, right? So we can look at our candlestick charts here. We were looking for right here, these sellers, just to take it down a little bit further into here, something like that, down to maybe 770 as well, something like this. Well, that didn't happen. Okay, that's fine. Now we'll just look for the next setup. Okay? And just as long as we can reduce our risk, and we'll do that again in here. We'll reduce the risk, and like I did earlier in the day over here. And then here's the error with the stop being a little too close. Okay. So anyway, now we did on our higher time frame. This is why, for a number of reasons, this wasn't a very good trade example. I just wanted to demo that higher high or lower highs in here and more consensus. It still looks good from here. It looks good to me. I see this sell blob here, big sell dot. I would look for it to come back down into here still. Okay, so I don't feel bad about that. And just as long as it's small. Look, here you can see my trading journal from the from the competition. Now again, this is you guys know that, like, within, if you partook in the competition, $40,000 is nothing. You can get into a lot of trouble if you put 100 lot on and be wiped out in a few minutes. Your $40,000 gain. All right, so but that's not the point in here. And in fact, I was testing a lot of these things with Maxime, and demoing for you guys a few trades as well into positions I did not want to get in. But I wanted to show how to trade with size, using the trade control panel, and trading off of the best bid or offer with a limit order. My point is, again, I made it yesterday as well. Like, protect your gains. I had some really horrible trades in here that could have wiped me out. It could have come back down in here, and I would have been negative 100,000 or 200,000 very easily. Right? But I didn't. I was looking for taking small losses, and look at all these losses in here. String of small losses, small losses, small losses. Then I hit something. Okay, great. But it's only worth like 6 grand or so. And then a string of small losses again, right? So anyway, but the point is that you can do that, and then just look for the next setup, because that's a part of it. Think about just just think of Las Vegas and some of the games there. You're at a disadvantage on all of them, a very slight disadvantage, like maybe 49 to 51%, something like that. But over time and over the numbers, you're likely gonna lose, and the house is likely gonna win. It's just numbers. Okay, so now trading is a lot more complex than that. There's all sorts of other inputs in here. However, you can make your risk reward much better than any of the games ever in Las Vegas. So the like I said, a lot more inputs, but if you go back and kind of study, look at your strategies, and look for it to play out, and just look for the next one after that. You build confidence is the key here. Build some confidence in what you are trading. And Rob, for example, I would suggest, I think John had mentioned this, just go back and start looking at some of these things. Don't take someone else's trading plan and go, yeah, I trade, the MACD crossover and I've made 2 million bucks last month, whatever it is. Okay, maybe they made it with the MACD crossover. Okay, great. But go back and look for yourself. Can you make it work for yourself? Maybe not. And if it doesn't make sense, well, then why would you ever trade that? Maybe it works for that guy, or maybe he's just full of it, We don't know. Anyway, let's do this. I think I covered it pretty well. Looking at the fundamentals, is this a day you want to trade? Looking at the momentum in here, and then looking at your structure on your higher time frames. Where do you want to trade? I would still say I do not want to be a buyer down in here. I know that we marked up our zone here, and this was the fundamental event, and it went deep into it. We see a little bit of buying come back in, but we see more selling here. I would take this trade again, looking for the move back down to here. No problem. And well, it didn't work out that way. It got upended, and we got out up here, and price continued. All right, so that's that. This zone in here in the order flow, it's okay. I like it, but I don't see anything in here on this 15-minute chart to give me that insight. I mean, I know higher lows in here, maybe, but it broke the swing here, and then we didn't know, right? So we'll do the same thing up in here, and we'll look for it. Is there still more buying pressure? Then we look for the move back up to the swing high around this 58.03, maybe higher. Okay, questions? No? So look at the swing up here. Okay, so we broke it. Now we're seeing a bit of a pullback in here. Okay, well let's go take a look at Bookmap. And in fact, let's do another thing in here. Let's also add some candlesticks on here. You can do the same thing. Right? So here's our breakdown here. This is what we looked at. We've been covering for years. High liquidity, sellers come in, and this is the swing on the on that 15-minute chart here. Anyway, in fact, let's just put the 15-minute chart on here. Okay, go. Okay, so here's the swing on the 15-minute chart here. Okay. Well, this starts to line up with some other areas in here. What I can understand why there's a pullback now due to the order flow, transactions, and the price structure and the order flow. All right, now question is, do we find more sellers coming in now? Yeah, we are actually. Okay, is this high probability though? No, not really. I mean, I don't see it. I mean, buyers have taken it up here. It went above here, but it failed. It came back into the range. Might be bouncing off of this liquidity in here, and then look for another high here, or highs of the day. Okay, so don't really see anything really high probability here. We can take this candlestick chart and use the same principle on lower time frames. Okay, this is where, Rob, I don't want to get you confused, okay, or confuse anybody. This stuff can be very confusing, right? just going through the essence of some of these simple concepts, like right here, buyers failed to get above that little swing here. All right, so that's a tradable event then, potentially now. So let's see if we can just take that down to here, down to the swing here. That's it. Okay, so failed in a range, and just looking forward to trade back down to the bottom of the range here. Okay, and if it doesn't, then we'll just get out. Okay, now see, it's not a very good trade. Like it's going back and forth in here. We're just going off of a few candles in here, 1 minute candles on this this little range in here. The candle's kind of getting in the way of the order flow and the transactions. But yeah, it's just simple idea here. It failed again, failed again. Okay, now I'm looking for the sellers to take it down. Okay, now it's taking it down to this candle swing here. I'm still looking for it for this one here. Okay, it's done it. All right, so now it worked out, you know, based off of price action and simple candles in here, but it's really it's just price action, and the the candlesticks are just an aggregate of all this price action in 1 minute here. Okay, but a simple idea to get across. Now this one worked out, but the other one didn't. Okay. Okay, now let's take a look again. Okay, so now it traded back down to here, where we had wicks previously. We have liquidity, and let's see if now we're going to build consensus again in here. Now I see buyers building consensus in here, but I need to see them up here, right? Now we're starting to see that. Okay, well, this time I think we're going to break it. Okay, we're starting to break it, and we're breaking it on strength. Okay, so let's see here. There's a little bit of a pullback. Yeah, I'm just going to jump in here. Okay, and we're just looking now for this swing up here. Okay, I see some strength on the buy side here. Now here's our pullback actually. So above the swings in here, but on strong volume. Okay, now nice little low volume pullback. Still more buyers in here though. They're bidding up at a higher level in here. That's good. Let's look for more buyers in here, and we should break. And I'm going to front run this high liquidity here. Okay, and that's it. Just looking for that. Now, I know these are little scalps in here, but like I said, you'll see this on all time frames. We're trying to look at the higher time frames on that 15-minute and hourly, and we're just not getting much today. And there we go. Okay, now again, like horrible risk to reward in here, but just to prove the concept, or and cover what we wanted to cover. Now it's only a point and a half or something like that, but I hope it gets the idea across. Might not have worked out, might have failed up here, but we had all of this buying pressure in here. We were looking for a pullback. We did get it actually, and then we had more buyers back up in here. This would have been a better entry up in here. So when you're developing your trading plan, or maybe you already have a trading plan, but you're bringing in new elements into your trading plan. This is a potential way to do it. Look at your higher time frame, and start to look back also in Bookmap with the same concepts in here. And how does it work out? How does it play out? Why? And we're going over these swings in here. I just think that you can see so much more than looking at basic candlesticks in here, and that's why I always take them off. But if you like candlesticks, you can also look at the analysis there and understand your ranges. I just think that here we really have the data, and we know that buyers came back in, lifted this, and at the top of this range here. Okay, previously this wasn't a good idea, but we're just looking for it to trade back down here because of more sellers. Okay, and then we saw more buyers come back in. All right, beautiful little pullback in here. I missed, and then a continuation here. Okay, now high liquidity just transacted. Okay, let's take a look at our 15-minute chart. How's this look? Looks pretty bullish here on the 15-minute. I see a lot of momentum coming in. Okay, so maybe look for this 03 high of the day here. Okay, how do we get involved in that? All right, well let's put a limit buy maybe down here. Okay, we might miss it. Okay, we can even put a limit down here. Limit buy. This is the point of control in here. Okay, so maybe we'll get a pullback. Maybe we'll get lucky and get a pullback into those areas. Okay, there's high liquidity just transacted. I'm looking for a pullback here. Let's look for a pullback in here on a smaller time frame. Okay, bottom of the range here. Right, so I would actually be scaling into this idea then, and I'm missing all of it. There's just too much buying pressure. Right, too much momentum, too much buying pressure. Okay, so looking for the back to the swing here, which will be this 03 up here. 03.5. Kind of quiet, guys. Any questions, or is this too basic? Yeah, please let me know. I mean, we can go over a lot more advanced stuff. It was the advanced stuff that I want to avoid precisely in this webinar. Keep it simple. Trading does not have to be really complex. One thing with trading though, like I think we had a really good webinar back in September with Thor, and he's a stocks trader. Now we're getting our pullback here, guys. He is a stocks trader, and he is. He mentioned something in there. It kind of, and this is why it's great. You're always learning. I learned from John a couple of weeks ago. I learned from Thor, and I learned from Steven yesterday, about how he is able to. There, thanks, Dan. You put the Thor's webinar in there. Yeah, happy weekend, Pete. You just have to be able to manage it. And one of the things here, now I'm going to have to manage my stops here. So one of the things that Thor had mentioned that just makes such good sense is you know, because we always hear this, oh, you're trying to be the house, you're looking for the numbers, like you're trying to be a robot, and you're trying to trade this way. But it's not like that. I don't feel it's like that. And he mentioned something about, like, there's a gambling element to it, or a risk taking element to it, and you cannot avoid that. The only thing that you can do is embrace it, and then manage it. So and celebrate it. That's you're looking for that. In fact, okay, so now let's look at this. Now, I don't know, I might get completely run over here. And I'm just going to move my stop though below this little point of control here. Okay, and below this high liquidity here. Okay, thinking that if price comes back down into here, it will reject. It will likely reject. Right, so I'm willing to do that. So let's take a look now. Okay, so traded into high liquidity. We kind of missed the move up into it. We would anticipate a pullback. Okay, we are getting that pullback, and we're getting filled. Okay, so now what do we think about this pullback? Well, this pullback's looking pretty strong here. It doesn't look, like a low volume pullback. We're starting to see some sell volume pick up a little bit. All right, this might turn into a bigger range trade. It might come all the way back down here, stop us out, and then come all the way back up. Right. So, but this is the way we're playing it. We're seeing buyers in here. We're playing this here. Okay. So we're looking for a pullback, and we're looking for a move back up again to the top high of the day. And that's what we're looking for. What else can we do now? Well, not much. Now we just have to, it either works out or it doesn't. There's another thing, Rob, that I wanted to go over with you. I might have to go to a different chart, a clean chart, and take a look at it. But a very, very simple thing to consider, and you'd be stripping out the liquidity and the transactions, and just look at price action. But you can learn a lot from that as well. Now, then you may consider doing something like that, and then look back into it and bring one element on at a time to get better at it. Okay, so let me explain. Actually, we might get filled in here. We'll see if there we go. Look at that. Our stop went down right to the other stops. So now I'm looking for buyers to support this here at this little high volume node here. Okay, we might not get it. But our idea, we're holding out, and our idea is to look for this to continue. We saw the buyers come in, and we're seeing a lot of sellers now, and we're below some of these areas in here. Okay, how do we want to play this? Do we want to get out and thinking that, well, price could come all the way back down here now, or even lower? Or do we stick with this idea in here? Okay, so still looking for buyers to come back up to the top of the range, right? So in fact, we didn't manage our stops here, or our take profits. Okay, so I'm going to move them around. I'll get out a little bit here at the figure, and then final take profit at high of the day here. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's go back. We'll let this work out, but let's go back to look at the NASDAQ in here. And let me take some things off the chart. Okay. And we're going to dim the heat map completely, and we're going to also take the volume dots and bars off. Okay, all we have here is best bid and offer. That's it. Okay, what can you learn from this in here? Okay, pure price action. That's it. Well, look at this area in here. Okay, we were involved in this in the S&P, and we were looking for it to drop lower, and it didn't. We got stopped out on this one, but then we got back in, and then we were looking for the move back up. So what can we learn though from this? Well, look at these ranges in here. Price seems to make a catastrophic break, and then it's range bound for a while. Okay, and then another catastrophic break, and then we're not seeing a range in here right now. It's actually kind of it looks to be trending right now. Okay, so I would look for this move back up into here on the NASDAQ. Right. So anyway, what I'm trying to say in here is look at all these little ranges in here, consolidations. Okay, and then we get a break, and then you get another consolidation, another break. All right, so let's take a look at this. If you start to see some of these ranges in here, I mean, Rob, here's a very simple strategy for you. And I won't recommend it. I'll just mention it. I mean, very simply, you can just make an argument in here and say, like, I'm a seller here, I'm a buyer here, and I'm going to play the range. Okay, you get stopped out on this one. I'm a buyer here, I'm a seller here, and just do this all day long. Now, it's only for a study, okay, to understand this, because you can get wiped out in any of these strategies. But you know, when is it going to start to range, and when is it trending? You don't know right here looking at the price action, but you do know that after you get a catastrophic break like this, or you know, a quick move, you typically get some range bound activity. Okay? So look for that range to start to establish itself, and then you can look for a simple strategy, take advantage of that. Okay, this is how you start to build your trading plan. Okay, take someone's idea or something you learned from somewhere, and then start to build it out. Right, because this is so, you know, you're going to prove it to yourself by doing this homework. Okay, keep it simple. You can start with this very simple idea. Now you can start to enhance it a little bit later. Okay, add liquidity in here, add the volume in here, or let's not add liquidity. Let's add volume, and then we'll look at this in here. And we talked about consensus at these top edges, etc., and bottom edges, right? So maybe Rob, this is and I'm sorry when I keep on bringing you up, Rob, but I did the same to Alan years ago, and I just it's nice to reach out to somebody I know, kind of the full, or you know, who I'm addressing here, and the type of other traders like Rob, or maybe around that experience. Okay, because Rob, you've been doing this for like 4 years now. But just you know, understanding an edge is critical. Like as we talked about with John and Vale Fan yesterday, and David and Stan. Like, first you got to have an edge, and this is how you can start to build it for yourself, and start to notice things, and then take the study deeper. Right, so and maybe you just you know, you're a seller up here, you're a buyer down, you know, down in here. Now you can start to enhance it though, and start to look for managing it specific ways, and you know, get better at it, and bring in some other things. Be very careful what you bring in. Okay, bring in some confluences, and then that should help. So it first starts with noticing some things, and then building your trading plan. Okay, and then building that edge. Okay, now NASDAQ is making highs for the day, coming up to this 20,300. Okay, well, how's our S&P doing? Let's jump over here and take a look. Okay, well, our first target is filled. And now we're looking for our second, though. Right, now we know here we just traded into high liquidity in here. Okay, now I was away, and I would have maybe moved this up a little bit closer, I think, and front ran. Maybe not, I don't know, maybe another tick or so in front of it here. Now I would anticipate a bit of a pullback, maybe back to here, 97, 98. Okay, before we get back up to highs of the day. And we might not get it. It might not pull back, or it might even reverse. We don't know. Okay, but we're prepared for it. Now let's just take a look at our bigger picture here and why we're looking for it to come up here. Does it still hold true? Yeah, pretty much. I would still hold this and look for it to trade back up to the high. Now look how it's doing it in here. It's kind of wishy-washy. It's not as strong as the move up and this pretty strong move down, but we can see that it's incrementally making it back up, and we're still seeing more buyers come in. All right, so I'm going to stick with the idea. Now I'm in a position of strength. Okay, here's my break even here, which you guys have access to. It's free. It's oh, I forget what it's called, but this one's a little different actually. It's an older one that we have. But now let's manage our stops here now. Okay, so do we want to move our stop up? But let's learn from what we had happen before. Like we had in here, we could have really had a nice winner here, and we got stopped out at the not to the tick, but pretty close, right? And like I said, maybe I should have had it down a little bit lower, like I originally had down in here, and then I decided, no, let's move it back up. All right, so let's where do I want to move this here? This isn't bad actually, but how do I want to handle that? If you're really aggressive, well, then you'd move it up to just around here, okay, or this liquidity, maybe a little bit below it. Let's put some more structure in here. So Rob, as you can tell, like I was talking about the structure in the market being on the horizontal of ranges and then breakouts. You can also look at the diagonal structure. And these are really simple concepts. But is it holding? Are we find buyers and sellers around those areas? Hey, look at this selling that came in here. Now here's our little zone. It just tested the bottom of the little range right here, and some pretty heavy selling came in. Okay, and now we're looking at the buyers come back in, and this is a low volume pullback. I'm looking for more sellers actually to trade it back down to here, and that's my original break even right here. Okay, so do I want to take profit on this, or do I don't want to just get out? Do I want to hold it for the bigger move? How committed am I to that idea in here? Well, we're starting to read it in here. All right, we're still good so far. This is maybe just another pullback in here, but you can see that even in the candles in here, the price action, the way it's doing it over time here, it's waning. And now we're starting to see some selling coming in. It's making a lower high in here. Okay, so now how do we want to play it? Right? We're looking, hoping that we get more buyers back up in here. We're not. Okay, so looking for this move down to this swing in here looks pretty good actually on that sell side. Is there liquidity there? A little bit. All right, guys. Well, let's see. I've gone over my time. Tom B is up next. If you want to, he's a volume profile trader. It's going to be very vastly different than some of the simple things that we're going over right now. However, maybe profile trading really resonates with you. I love profile. I just like to see more inside the profile. And I also know I feel there's limitations to profile as well. It's nothing against, it's nothing whatsoever against Tom. It's against the system of profile trading. I think there's a lot left out as well, because all it does is aggregate it here on the horizontal, right? Yeah, maybe it gives some good insights as well, but I really like looking at the price structure, the volume, and the liquidity, and that works for me. But I looked through this and went through and back tested these things over the years, so this works for me. So anyway, Rob, and everybody, Shark, Alois, Alan, Hector, yeah, thank you everybody. Yeah, hope it was helpful. Leave you with that for the weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Okay, yeah, thanks for coming everybody. Have a great weekend, and we will catch up on Monday. Okay, bye bye.